Warm welcome, you're with us and to the point, and I want to begin with the latest news break that is filtering in from Maharashtra. So the state of Maharashtra has unfortunately recorded its biggest single-day COVID-19 spike till now. What we're talking in terms of sheer numbers on the biggest single-day spike reported in Maharashtra is 6,330. Till now, the state of Maharashtra had not recorded a number such as this. It's been in the 5,000 category, but today it's recorded 6,330 cases in the last 24 hours, taking the total COVID-19 count in Maharashtra to over 1,85,000. 125 new COVID-19 deaths were reported in Maharashtra in the last 24 hours. For those of you who want to know the Mumbai breakup, Mumbai has also recorded a spike today with 1,554 new cases reported in Mumbai alone in just the last 24 hours. However, Mumbai has recorded a bigger spike in the past, but in terms of Maharashtra, it's not seen a number like this, at least till now. Well, one thing needs to be said very clearly, that India till now is only registering an upward spike. In the last 5 days, we have jumped from 5 lakh to 6 lakh. We've recorded a jump in the country of 1 lakh just in the last 5 days, and these are the numbers coming in from Maharashtra this evening. I want to shift focus right now to the big political story that we're going to be tracking very closely and then therefore debating as well with our political guests, and that is Priyanka Gandhi being served the eviction notice by the government. Now, the government says that your security was taken away. You didn't need it to Priyanka Gandhi, and you had to leave the bungalow because the bungalow was only provided because you had a certain security threat perception earlier, which never existed. So when her SPG was taken away, her bungalow should have gone as well, is what the government said. And today they've bitten the bullet, yesterday in fact, and they served her a notice. Well, in midst of all of this, the Congress has called political vendetta. They say that this is basically a political witch hunt at the back of Priyanka Gandhi's political activism, especially in Uttar Pradesh. Talking about Uttar Pradesh, will that be her new address and why? Take a look.
This is the house which could be the residence of Priyanka Gandhi Vadra if she chooses to move to Lucknow. The Kaul house in the heart of Lucknow belonged to Indira Gandhi's maternal aunt, Sheila Kaul.
This is the place which is going to be very happening in coming Vidhan Sabha elections in Uttar Pradesh, and she had earlier decided to shift here, but due to lockdown and corona infection period, she deferred that decision. But right now, what sources are suggesting that she will shift anytime soon here and strategize for parties strengthening the party, Congress party in Uttar Pradesh.
Speculation about her shift to Lucknow began after Priyanka was served a notice by the Narendra Modi government to leave the government bungalow provided to her when she was an SPG protectee.
After spending 2 decades of time here in the Lutyens Delhi's bungalow number 35 at Lodhi Estate, Priyanka Gandhi is now shifting base to Uttar Pradesh. And this has come after the government has withdrawn the accommodation. The Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot, Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amarinder Singh also appealed central government to rethink over the decision withdrawing the residential accommodation in the national capital, which was earlier allotted to Priyanka Gandhi.
The eviction notice has left the grand old party fuming.
अब तो सरकार इतनी गिर गई कि प्रियंका गांधी जी के मकान को खाली करवाने का नोटिस दे दिया। न प्रियंका गांधी और न कांग्रेस नेतृत्व इस प्रकार के फर्जी नोटिसों से डरने वाला। एक नहीं 100 मकान खाली करवाइए, परंतु इस देश की आवाज बनने से आप हमें रोक नहीं सकते।
The rules are the same for everyone. Dynastic democracy has come to an end. It seems it is a reality now. So this dynastic democracy which we lived earlier has come to an end, it seems.
A section within the party feels Priyanka can use this opportunity to take the fight to Yogi Adityanath in Uttar Pradesh, the state she has been put in charge. She has been taking on the Yogi government over several issues, from arranging buses for migrant workers to demanding justice for the victims of the Sonbhadra massacre. Her Twitter timeline has been focused on UP. While Priyanka has her eyes set on the 2022 UP elections, she has the Herculean task of bringing the grand old party out of the morass it is in and enthuse the party cadre. With Ashutosh Mishra and Shivendra Srivastav, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, so the Congress is saying, and there's a flurry of activity, even right now on Twitter, you have the top leaders, Ghulam Nabi Azad, many leaders coming out and Mr. Venugopal coming out and saying that why has this bungalow been taken away, calling out political vindictiveness. That's one part. The other part is also many leaders. You had Sachin Pilot tweet that out yesterday, where he said that in the midst of a pandemic, what's the point that you're trying to make by serving an eviction notice? On the other hand, the Congress hasn't said this, but a lot of political analysts, and we're going to put those graphics out as well, say, why is there a different rule book, say possibly for Priyanka Gandhi, because yes, she's not an MP, however, she was living in this house, and it's been taken away, and the Congress and the BJP and the government is saying that they've just followed sheer rules. However, certain members of the Bharatiya Janata Party, old stalwarts like Mr. L.K. Advani, Mr. Murli Manohar Joshi, and even Subramaniam Swamy were awarded a Lutyens bungalow, Mr. Subramaniam Swamy in particular, in Pandara Road, even before he had become an MP. And the other two that I'm talking about are not member of parliaments either in Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha, but continue to enjoy a Class 4 Lutyens Delhi bungalow, similar to which Priyanka Gandhi was living in. But on the other hand, is there a sense of entitlement? Why should Priyanka Gandhi continue to enjoy a house in Lutyens Delhi when she's not even a public representative? That's what we're going to talk about. I have Sushmita Dev with me from the Congress and Aman Sinha from the Bharatiya Janata Party. You know, Mr. Sinha, can I begin with you? And the question is, which is being posed by many, because the government says the rules say she needs to be evicted immediately. However, you know, are rules different for, say, members from your own party, be it Mr. L.K. Advani, Murli Manohar Joshi, or even Mr. Subramaniam Swamy, who was awarded Lutyens Delhi bungalow in Pandara Road before he even became a Rajya Sabha MP?
So, Preeti, first of all, let me say I was hearing to Mr. Surjewala's statement just now, and he said Priyanka Gandhi ka makan. Now, these are public premises, these are public properties. The Supreme Court of India has held so, and therefore nobody has the birthright to remain there. And least of all, Priyanka Gandhi was at no point in time has any individual contribution into public life, so to speak, and has never even held a constitutional office. Now, let me say that Priyanka Gandhi stayed in this house for more than 23 years, I guess. She paid about 1 or 0.5% of the market rent, prevailing market rent. If you or me or anybody else, or even Sushmita Dev or anybody else goes who's not holding an office, then they have to pay about 20 lakhs for such a bungalow. And she has already spent 23 years here. The SPG cover was withdrawn way back last year, and thereafter she was staying put. And this notices has therefore been sent. Now, let me also say the Congress party has also accepted that position, and Miss Priyanka Gandhi also has accepted that position, Miss Priyanka Vadra, because she has not challenged this anywhere, and therefore she has accepted it, but only in order to, you know, play petty politics, as the Congress party says. So they are, you know, what they are in fact preaching, they are practicing themselves. They are playing petty politics. They are making a political issue out of something which should have been very gracefully and with great dignity. She should have exited it 10 months back. She's trying to play petty politics over it, and therefore I say that this sense of entitlement that some of the Congress leaders and these dynasties have, they have to realize that we are a fully functional constitutional democracy, the biggest democracy of the world, and nobody has got such right and entitlement that they should be there for good. And if they are taken out of their public premises, they will start raising.
All right, okay, Mr. Sinha, Mr. Sinha, I'd like to go to Sushmita Dev, but I want to ask you that question again, and this is just theoretical, because if Priyanka Gandhi is evicted, then why not certain stalwarts from the Bharatiya Janata Party? Mr. L.K. Advani has a house type 4, Lutyens bungalow, without holding any public office. Same with Murli Manohar Joshi. Even Subramaniam Swamy was allotted one before he actually became a Rajya Sabha MP in Pandara Road.
Preeti, Mr. L.K. Advani is former Deputy Prime Minister of India. He is one of the most distinguished and certainly the longest serving parliamentarians. And under the rules, under the provisions, there is threat perception, there is security angle, which is reviewed not one but multiple agencies, and they have come to that conclusion. And therefore, in pursuance to that, that particular action has been taken. And you please also consider the age and the kind of public service that they have done. I mean, is there any match between Priyanka Gandhi and Mr. L.K. Advani or Mr. Murli Manohar Joshi ji? And
Mr. Sinha, I don't want to get into a match. I'm just, that's why, before I pose that question to you, I said it's purely theoretical. It's a because
and considering the threat perception which exists for Mr. Advani as well as Dr. Joshi.
Okay. Okay, all right. I want to bring in Sushmita there, but it's not about a comparison. It's about nothing else. It's about going by rules. And as per rules, a Deputy Prime Minister is not entitled a bungalow in Lutyens, Delhi. But I'll okay, I'm going to come right back. Like I said, you can go on and we'll have this debate. And Sushmita Deb, I want to bring you in. The petty political mindset is also reflected by the Congress when we talk about that why now, in the middle of a pandemic, this is political vindictiveness. It's not Priyanka Gandhi's house. She's had it for since 1997. She's lived there for all this while. What's the point of calling it a political vendetta when one can very gracefully move out of the house and said, yes, that I'm not a public representative anymore?
Preeti, I just want to say, first of all, Priyanka Gandhi ji did not move into this house as a sense of entitlement. There is a history there, a history that BJP can never talk of. When her father was assassinated, it is the SPG who asked her to move. Let me give you some information. She had rented a house in Sainik Farm. SPG rejected that and she was asked to move into government accommodation. And let me tell you, talking of grace, you see, grace and rules depends on who's sitting on the chair. And the current house that she's in now was given during Deve Gowda's time. And it was continued by Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji. But we know the difference between Vajpayee ji and Modi. That's obvious to the entire nation.
No,
secondly, what I'd like to say that she has paid all her. I didn't interrupt.
Okay, I'd like to come in and Mr. Sinha, you were not interrupted.
Allow me to respond.
You were not interrupted, and let's have a fair debate. Accord the same privilege. Yes, I will come back to you. Accord the same privilege. Accord the same privilege to your panelists. Can we just get Ms. Sushmita Deb? I'll go back to Mr. Sinha. Can we just get Ms. Sushmita Deb? Sir, I'll come back to you. Let's play fair.
Yeah.
You were given that opportunity. Accord the same privilege. Yes.
Exactly.
Ms. Deb, make your point.
And the second thing I'd like to say is she has paid the rent that the government asked her to pay. If the government gave her a subsidized rate for that bungalow, it was not because Priyanka Gandhi ji asked for that subsidy, what Mr. Aman Singh is saying. Thirdly, I'd like to say, he miserably failed to answer your question that why is Mr. Advani and why is Mr. Murli Manohar Joshi staying there? You also brought up the issue of Subramaniam Swamy, and I would like to add to that Mr. Amit Shah, who took a 8-bedroom bungalow for 3,875 rupees. See, Preeti, I completely accede. If there are rules, everyone must follow it, including Priyanka Gandhi ji and everybody else. So if you want to play by the rules,
so let me ask you, before I go back to Aman Sinha, I want to ask you. Okay, Ms. Deb, before I go back to Aman Sinha, I want to ask you.
8-bedroom house.
8-bedroom.
Okay, Ms. Deb, can I ask you a rebuttal? I want to ask you, when was the SPG?
For a long time.
Okay.
And that people like you, dynasties like you will not realize.
Okay, 1 second.
Priyanka Gandhi.
Well,
you can't
see that. Sinha, I'm coming to you.
Is absolutely wrong on record. Priyanka Gandhi requested for reduction of the
Can I just intervene? Okay, I'm the moderator of this. I am the moderator of this debate. I'd like to step in. Can I just ask a rebuttal to Ms. Deb? And Mr. Sinha, I'm coming back to you. Please appreciate that. Ms. Deb, I want to ask you a rebuttal. You've given me the whole chronology and when she got it, the price she paid, why she paid that price, why was it subsidized. My question is, she doesn't enjoy SPG protection anymore. And when she was not an SPG protectee anymore, why did she continue to enjoy the same privileges? Because the house was attached to the SPG privilege status that she had. And that was taken away, so she should have moved out there.
Very important question. And let me tell your viewers, Amit Shah in the parliament gave a statement that the threat perception of the Gandhis has not changed. They are still Z+ category. They removed them as SPG protectees. The government in its wisdom, we don't have the ability to scrutinize the basis of that decision. We don't have access to that information. If the bungalow went away as a privilege or as an amenity that came with SPG, as a SPG protectee, they should have asked back for it. If it is Amit Shah who said it is Z+ category still threat, so please, I just want to, and one more thing I'd like to say, Priyanka Gandhi ji has made absolutely no fuss about it. She has not spoken a word, she's not tweeted on it.
Okay, well, fact, no, but everybody else is making enough fuss about it. Sushmita Deb, your tallest leaders to going down, everyone is making a fuss about this. Yes.
Because of the difference
Sushmita,
in the way the rules are set
like
up.
Mr. Raman Sinha.
Why is
enough time has been given. Some partial time has to be given for response also.
I'm coming to you. Ms. Deb, can I go to Mr. Sinha? Can I go to Mr. Sinha?
Answer.
Okay. The difference of rule is still being asked, Ms. Sinha, but yes, you wanted to come in, make your points.
First of all, I am astonished not only at the entitlement of Ms. Priyanka Vadra, but also of their party spokespersons. And look at the kind of hypocrisy that they are practicing, Preeti. Just now we saw on India Today statement been given by the Congress media in charge, Mr. Surjewala, saying that this is petty politics. She is being evicted from her house, which was her birthright to be there. And she is saying that nobody has made any fuss about it. Now, let me also reiterate. Now, please do not disturb and
okay, let's go one by one. Let's go one by one.
You were saying
okay, can we just get Aman Sinha and go back to Ms. Deb?
Like you are doing in the case of China.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Can I just get Mr. Sinha? Can I just get Mr. Sinha and we'll go back to Ms. Deb. Mr. Sinha, please make your point.
Thank you, Preeti. I'm grateful, Preeti. Thank you. There should be some order.
Can we just do that? Mr. Sinha, I'll come back to you. Yes. Go ahead, Mr. Sinha.
Now, Preeti, another absolutely factually incorrect thing that the Congress spokesperson pointed out was that Priyanka Gandhi was giving the nominal house rent, which is about 0.5 to 1% of the market value, and was, it was a gracious deed, magnanimous deed by her. Let me say that even that she was not prepared to give. At one point in time, she asked the government for reduction of the nominal house rent also by 50%. Now they are having crores and crores of assets. They are moving around in crores and crores of vehicles. They are having virtually bungalows establishment in all the cities of India and maybe all prominent cities of the world also, many of them. And they are saying that they cannot even pay the nominal rent. They say that no, that nominal rent should be reduced. So therefore she did ask for reduction of rent. That is also an incorrect statement that Sushmita made. Now that apart, Preeti, this entire sense of entitlement, as I was pointing out, that if she has to exit, she should have gracefully exited 10 months back when the SPG Act was changed. And after she has not exited for 10 months, she's been issued notices in pursuance to the Eviction of Public Premises Act. They want to make a petty issue out of it, when they have not even challenged it before any court of law, before any authority. They just wish to play petty politics over it. That is the kind of difference which is there. And let me also assure you.
Now, before I go,
just one point that...
I want to go back to Ms. Deb, but I want to ask you one question before I go back to Ms. Deb. Number one, birthright, yes, Ms. Deb is right, was not mentioned. Mr. Surjewala never said it was a birthright to stay there. Number two, Mr. Sinha, I would ask you, why wasn't a notice served? Why wasn't a notice served 10 months ago when the SPG status was taken away from her? She could have been served a notice to evict. And why choose the time maybe of a pandemic? Because the government is telling people do not evict your tenants, and then, giving out an eviction notice at this time. Please answer and I'll go to Ms. Deb.
First of all, Preeti, if the notice was not served, that only shows the graciousness of the government. Congress party spokespersons have been hitting out that why she is being evicted, and if notices are sent now, then also they will start criticizing. I mean, that is absolutely self-defeating and self-contradictory. That apart, notices are served in pursuance to Eviction of Public Premises Act, and certainly one believes that people of they claim themselves to be very responsible, very profound and very fair people. They would themselves evict if their SPG cover has been removed, and admittedly that was the ground, then they themselves would evict. They did not evict, and therefore notices were served. So therefore, I wish to say that the fact that she has not even challenged it goes on to reflect, Preeti, that they are only intending to play petty politics over it. They have no substantive issue out here.
Okay. All right. Okay, Ms. Deb, I'll ask you that final question.
See, just
10 months ago, SPG cover gets taken away. Ms. Gandhi, who at that point of time said, I don't need the SPG in any case. It was a statement that she had made. And following it up, why couldn't she move out of the bungalow? Because that came with being SPG protectee. She didn't need an eviction notice because that is embarrassing. She could have done it on her own volition.
See, Preeti, for the sake of your viewers, I'd like to say that Mr. Sinha till now has diverted the question about Subramaniam Swamy, Amit Shah, L.K. Advani and Murli Manohar Joshi. That's the valid point, that rules apply differently to different people.
Unfounded.
Now, if he
interrupts, it's not fair. I have to respond to anchor, which is Preeti Chaudhary.
Okay, let him. Come on. Let her make your point.
If she has any other additional questions, Preeti is very capable of asking.
3,000 rupees.
Mr. Sinha, let's go one by one.
Priyanka Gandhi ji gracefully accepted the fact when her SPG protectee status was removed. The government in its wisdom did it. Now, the fact that she was not entitled to that bungalow, if it had been brought to her notice at that point of time, she would have vacated it. You brought it up, now she's going to vacate it. Fact is that your president, Amit Shah,
okay, I need to close this debate.
Bungalow, and you don't have an answer for that.
Now,
that's what your viewers should be.
Okay, now the point was made. I need to close this debate. Appreciate you both for joining us. Thank you, Mr. Sinha. Thank you, Ms. Deb. Questions continue to arise. Number one, which was raised by Mr. Sinha, that when she was no longer an SPG protectee, she should have moved out gracefully on her own and not waited to be evicted. On the other hand, why choose the time of a pandemic? Importantly, if you're going to throw the rule book at somebody, then the rule book needs to be followed home, even though, you might revere them, people might revere them. However, having said that, the likes of L.K. Advani, Murli Manohar Joshi, Subramaniam Swamy have got government accommodation tied for bungalows like Ms. Gandhi, and they have had absolutely no position where either they are a people's representative or say even a Rajya Sabha MP. Thank you both for joining us. We're going to continue to track the story very closely, but I want to stick with a story that I'd like to end with on To The Point, which comes from Uttar Pradesh, and I'll end the show on that. This is the story of Varanasi, the eternal oldest city in the world today, where spirituality is key. Spirituality right now is on pause, primarily due to COVID-19. Take a look at this report. And thank you for watching this.
The price of a pandemic. Physical, emotional, and economical. A narrative mirrored by countries, states, and cities. The mystical city of Varanasi, Banaras, Kashi, the oldest living city in the world, always alive while existing peacefully with the dead. As COVID continues to stalk, the city that never stopped has come to a standstill. The bustling ghats deserted, the cramped by-lanes now empty. Its revered temples locked down and their busiest priests out of work.
आज स्थिति ये है कि कोरोना काल के कारण ना तो समय पे, क्योंकि जो चैती आती है उस समय फसल आती है, तो उस समय साधु जा भी नहीं पाया, तो वो भी एक संकट है। दूसरा, जो भगत जगत आते थे उनसे जो चढ़ोतरी होती थी कुछ आता, वो भी आना जाना बंद है। ऐसी स्थिति में इन ब्राह्मणों की, इन बटकों की जो रोजी रोटी है उस चलाना मठाधीश के लिए, महंत के लिए बहुत कठिन स्थिति आ गई।
एक आरती हम कर रहे हैं, जो ये एक ही आरती हम लोग कर रहे हैं।
पहले कितनी आरतियां करते थे?
पहले 7 आरती होती थी। हमारा पर्व पड़ता था गंगा दशहरा, तो हम 11 करते थे, और देव दीपावली पे हम 21 आरती करते हैं।
The entire city of Banaras that ran an economy of its inheritance, the priceless inheritance of being the spiritual fulcrum of the world, today has its spirituality put on pause. And those that ran a lucrative business selling spirituality, fearing bankruptcy.
जो पुराना चावल मिला रखे हैं वही लोग खा रहे हैं, नहीं तो दूसरा कोई चारा नहीं है।
From that to this, from not finding an inch on the ghats during the famous Aarti to a single devotee today performing it. These are tough times, unprecedented, and the Prime Minister's electoral constituency, Varanasi, is caught in it. But then, as its oldest residents say, it's an eternal city that lived, lives, and will always live on, as long as it has a protector. Bureau Report, India Today.